Did you know that the average person spends about 2 hours and 24 minutes on social media each day? That's a startling statistic, isn't it? It's the equivalent of nearly one full day every week. If you break that down, it equates to over 50 days in a year. Yes, you heard it right. 50 days of scrolling, liking, sharing, and commenting. Here's a question for you. What could you do with an extra 50 days in a year? You could learn a new language or skill. You could read about 20 books, assuming you spend about 2 hours reading each day. You could even run about 20 marathons, presuming you're in good shape, and it takes you about 5 hours to complete each one. The possibilities are endless, aren't they? But instead, we're spending those precious hours tethered to our screens, caught in the whirlwind of social media. Why? Because it's easy, it's convenient, it's addictive, and it's everywhere. The pull of social media is hard to resist. It's designed to be that way. The more time we spend on it, the more data companies can collect about us. The more data they have, the better they can tailor their content to keep us engaged, to keep us scrolling. But there's a darker side to this story. All those hours spent on social media are not just eating into our time. They're shaping our perception of reality and success. We're constantly exposed to the highlight reels of other people's lives, to their successes, their achievements, their seemingly perfect realities. It's easy to forget that what we see on social media is often a curated, edited version of reality. It's easy to start comparing ourselves to these idealized images, to feel like we're falling short, to feel like we're not successful enough, and that's the crux of the problem. The illusion of success on social media is just that, an illusion. It's a distorted reflection of reality, a mirage that can lead us astray. It can make us feel inadequate, anxious, and dissatisfied with our own lives. It can make us chase after unrealistic goals and expectations. Imagine how much that shapes our perception of reality and success. What do psychologists and social media experts say about this? Well, let's dive right in. Leading psychologists and social media experts have weighed in on this topic, and their findings are quite intriguing. They suggest that social media often presents a carefully edited, idealized version of reality. This version is typically far from the truth, yet it shapes our perceptions and expectations about success. Dr. Jane Patterson, a well-known psychologist, posits that our brains aren't wired to discern reality from the virtual world easily. We see images of lavish lifestyles, perfect relationships, and flawless beauty, and our minds often interpret these as standard expectations. Yet these are often just the highlight reels of people's lives, not the day-to-day reality. Meanwhile, social media expert Mark Thompson points out that platforms often encourage this kind of portrayal. They reward posts that are visually appealing, exciting, or enviable with likes, shares, and comments. This, in turn, prompts users to post more of such content, further propagating the illusion. There's also an interesting concept known as social comparison theory, brought to light by the renowned psychologist Leon Festinger. This theory posits that we have an inherent drive to assess our progress and worth by comparing ourselves to others. In the age of social media, this comparison is not just with our immediate social circle but with millions of people worldwide. It's a comparison with the polished, perfected lives they choose to share online, not their actual full reality. So what's the impact of all this? As per psychologists, this can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and even depression. We're striving to meet an impossible standard, a perfect illusion, and falling short can be damaging to our mental health. And it's not a small issue. With billions of people on social media worldwide, the impact is widespread. It's a global phenomenon that's quietly shaping our definition of success and happiness, often for the worse. So, in essence, we're constantly comparing ourselves to an illusion. So how does this illusion of success work? Let's take a moment to consider our own social media feeds. We're inundated with images of friends on exotic vacations, colleagues boasting about promotions, influencers flaunting their lavish lifestyles, and celebrities sharing glimpses of their seemingly perfect lives. It's a constant stream of the best moments, the highlights, the wins. It's as if everyone is living a life of constant success and unending happiness. But is this the whole truth? Of course not. It's a curated version of reality. A selective showcase of life's best moments, hand-picked for public consumption. It's like a highlight reel, where we often don't see the hard work, the struggles, the disappointments, and the failures that pave the path to these moments of success. Yet this selective portrayal can create a skewed perception of reality. It can foster a culture of comparison, where we gauge our own worth and success by measuring it against the seemingly perfect lives of others. It can create a pressure to keep up, to constantly strive for more, to always be better, to never show weakness or failure. This incessant need to compare and compete can lead to feelings of inadequacy, of not being good enough, of falling behind. It can make us question our own achievements, our own worth, our own happiness. It can make us feel like we're constantly chasing a moving target, a mirage of success that always seems just out of reach. And this is the illusion of success. It's a dangerous game of smoke and mirrors, a distorted reflection of reality that can trap us in a cycle of constant comparison and competition, of never feeling satisfied or successful enough. It's an illusion that can rob us of our happiness, our peace of mind, our ability to appreciate and enjoy the simple, everyday moments of life. So let's remember, the next time we find ourselves comparing our lives to the highlight reels on social media, that success is not a destination, but a journey. It's not about the grand moments of triumph, but the small victories, the lessons learned, the growth, and the resilience. The illusion of success can be a dangerous thing. The impact on our mental health can be significant. As we delve deeper into the illusion of success, it's essential to consider the psychological implications. One of the unfortunate byproducts of this digital facade is an increase in feelings of isolation, depression, and anxiety. While social media platforms are intended to be tools for connection, ironically, they can often serve as catalysts for loneliness. The constant exposure to the highlight reels of others' lives can leave us feeling like we're the only ones not living up to the mark. It's like being at a party where everyone else seems to be having a good time, except you. And that's a lonely place to be. Depression, too, finds fertile ground in the landscape of social media. The more we compare ourselves to others, the more we can feel inadequate, fueling a cycle of self-doubt and negative self-perception. Our accomplishments seem to pale in comparison to the curated successes we see online, leading to feelings of worthlessness and despair. And let's not forget about anxiety. The ever-present need to keep up with the Joneses of the digital world can create a constant state of stress and worry. Are we doing enough? Are we successful enough? Are we enough? These questions can keep us in a perpetual state of unease, undermining our sense of self-worth and our mental well-being. These aren't just theoretical musings. Numerous studies have shown a correlation between heavy social media use and poor mental health outcomes. And while correlation does not imply causation, the consistent links found across various research cannot be ignored. In fact, a study conducted in 2019 found that individuals who spent more than 3 hours per day on social media were at a higher risk for mental health problems than those who spent less time online. This suggests that our digital habits can indeed have real-world consequences. It's clear that the illusion of success can take a toll on our mental health. As we continue to navigate the digital age, it's crucial to remember that not everything we see online is as it appears. And perhaps in understanding this, we can start to mitigate some of the negative impacts that social media can have on our mental health. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's a way to navigate through this. We're not suggesting you toss your smartphone into the nearest river and retreat into a cave. No, quite the contrary. The point here is to cultivate a mindful approach to social media usage. Imagine social media as a vast ocean. Without a compass or a clear sense of direction, it's easy to get lost in its depths. But with the right tools and mindset, you can navigate these waters safely. Now, what does this mindful usage look like? Firstly, setting time limits is a great place to start. It's like deciding how far you want to sail before you even leave the shore. You might allocate a specific time each day for social media browsing, or perhaps you'd prefer to limit your usage to certain times of the week. Either way, having a plan prevents you from drifting aimlessly and losing hours to the digital sea. Secondly, try to focus on positive interactions. Social media can be a wonderful platform for connecting with loved ones, learning new things, and sharing your passions. So dedicate your time online to these uplifting activities. Engage with content that brings you joy and fosters a sense of community. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, remember that what you see on social media isn't always reality. It's more like a highlight reel, an array of best moments carefully curated for public viewing. It's easy to compare your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel, but it's important to remember that comparison is the thief of joy. Just as a sailor wouldn't mistake a mirage for land, you shouldn't mistake the illusion of success on social media for real success. It's a distorted reflection at best, a mirage at worst. So, as you navigate the vast ocean of social media, keep these strategies in mind. Be mindful of your journey, and remember to enjoy the voyage. Remember, it's important to take everything you see on social media with a grain of salt. It's time for a reality check. In the digital age we live in, it's all too easy to get caught up in the glitz and glamour of success as portrayed on social media platforms. The shiny cars, the exotic vacations, the perfect families, they're all part of a carefully crafted narrative that can easily lead us astray from the reality of what success truly means. But let's take a step back and reevaluate. Let's ground ourselves in reality. Success can't be measured by the number of likes on a post or the brand of car one drives. It's far more complex and personal than that. It's about setting your own goals, pursuing your passions, and finding fulfillment in your achievements, no matter how big or small they might seem to others. So, why not focus on your own journey, rather than comparing it to the highlight reel of someone else's life? After all, social media only shows a fraction of the truth, often omitting the hard work, the struggles, the failures that are all part of the road to success. Remember, each one of us is on a unique path. Our progress, our achievements, they're ours alone. They don't need validation from a digital audience. What matters is that we recognize our growth, that we celebrate our accomplishments, and that we remain true to ourselves. Let's not allow the illusion of success on social media to distort our perception of what truly matters. Let's not let it steer us away from our own goals and aspirations. Instead, let's use it as a tool to connect, to learn, to inspire, but never to compare or to judge. It's about time we redefine success, not by the standards set by social media, but by our own personal benchmarks. It's about time we create our own narrative of success, one that is authentic, meaningful, and grounded in reality. Success is a personal journey, not a social media highlight reel. In conclusion, social media is a tool, and like any tool, it's all about how you use it. The journey we've taken today has unraveled some fascinating insights about the world of social media and its impact on our perceptions of success. It's crucial to remember these points as we navigate the digital landscape in our daily lives. We started with a startling statistic that demonstrated just how pervasive social media has become. It's everywhere, and it's influencing us, whether we realize it or not. This influence can be positive, opening up new worlds and opportunities, but it can also cloud our judgment and skew our perspectives. The expert opinion we heard reinforced this point. It underlined the fact that social media often presents an illusion of success, a carefully curated highlight reel that can make our own lives seem dull in comparison. But remember, what we see on these platforms is not a full picture. It's a selective and often deceptive snapshot of someone else's life. This illusion of success can have serious impacts on our mental health. It can lead to feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and even depression. It's crucial to remember that everyone's journey is different, and that success is a personal and subjective concept. It's not measured by likes, shares, or followers. Mindful usage of social media is key to mitigating these risks. It's about balancing our digital lives with our real ones, about using these platforms as tools for connection and learning, not as yardsticks for success. Remember to take everything you see with a grain of salt and to consider the source. We also did a reality check, reminding ourselves that success is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It's unique to each individual, shaped by our values, our goals, and our experiences. It's not about matching up to someone else's highlight reel, but about fulfilling our own potential and pursuing our passions. In the end, it's essential to focus on our own definitions of success, rather than those imposed by social media. Your success may not look like someone else's, and that's okay. It's your journey, your story, and it's just as valuable and worthy of celebration. So, let's use social media mindfully, acknowledging its potential pitfalls and focusing on its positive aspects. Let's remember that it's a tool, a means to an end, not the end itself. Let's resist the urge to compare ourselves with others and instead concentrate on our own growth and happiness. Don't let social media shape your reality. Instead, shape your own reality and let that be your success.